That district was captured by the Union first autumn of the war. It was a Union pocket in Confederate territory, almost the entire war. And there was no Emancipation Proclamation yet. So the commander down there who decided that he would make these former slaves into soldiers, he was making policy without permission. And he got in trouble for that. But his commander-in-chief, Abraham Lincoln, eventually came to his rescue on that. So these men are former slaves being trained as infantry soldiers, and they're effectively their intelligent officer. That's what we would call it today. Harriet Tubman, not sneaking through the woods like a ninja. At this point in her life, she is a middle-aged lady retired in Philadelphia. But her skill set, there's two really important things. Number one, from the Underground Railroad, she can build these communication networks, and passing messages around plantations is a great way to get intelligence for the Army to do its planning with. And she could be very hands-on about that. She did go along on the boats on the Combahee River Raid. But the second thing, the Emancipation Proclamation, Lincoln needed the world to know that it had teeth in it, that it wasn't an empty gesture, that they were actually going to free some slaves. So it was important to have news coverage, and if you want news coverage, how do you get that? Attach a celebrity and the reporters will follow. So Harriet knew that part of her job was to make sure attention got paid to this and the reporters would follow her. So this would have been the flag behind the colonel's desk every time she came in to give a report and say, this is what my network has learned. That would have been the flag behind the desk. One tiny piece of gold paint there where one of the stars was, so we can sort of imagine the rest, extrapolating from that. The silk is in terrible condition, which has led to some of the school kids kind of creating a legend. Doesn't this look a little bit like a kneeling soldier with his rifle and bayonet in front of him, perhaps in prayer? You know, it's damage to the silk, but I never discourage a children's legend that draws more interest in it. So there's the short version, and I'm glad that James always mentions the flag that's associated with Harriet Tubman. And I also think real history is really interesting. So to look at what her role was and what her real skill set was is more fun than pretending that she was doing what a West Point trained officer would have been doing. The Army didn't have a shortage of officers that knew how to lead troops in combat. They had a shortage of spy network administrators, and that's effectively the job she was doing. By the way, she sued the Army after the war for military benefits. And the Army said, you were a civilian contractor, not a soldier. And Harriet Tubman said, I know a lot of important lawyers. And the Army said, all right, Ms. Tubman, here is your pension. So supposedly, she's eventually going to be on the $20 bill. That is incredibly appropriate if it happens, because that was roughly her military pension, $20 a month.
I love you. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you.